Welcome back, y'all. So, if you were with me when I used the Kumi Kreator bracelet maker, you would have seen when I made this bracelet here, the red, white, and blue on the Kumi Kreator. Okay, so this is part, excuse me, this is part 2, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm going to do with this thing. So, as I said, I'm going to make keychains and stuff like that. So, what I have here is some end caps, and these are for doing they're called cord ends, and you can get them at any craft store, your choice. So I'll show you what the packaging looks like here. This is, oops, that's the wrong ones. Haha, my bad. I don't know what I just did with the other packet of these, but anyway. This is a packet that these came out of. So these are cord ends. There's no specific size to them. They just come 16 in a pack. You can get them. I think they're like $5, $4.97 plus tax. $5 and some change at Walmart. Hey, don't knock it. They're the cheapest people around. You can go to Michael's and probably get like 8 of these for probably like $7.99. I'm not sure. So I got them at Walmart. And there's 16 pieces in there, so you can make 16 whatever you want to make. Okay, so we're going to get to this real quick. So let me put on my seers. Not that I'm blind, but once we get up there in age, we do start to lose out on some sights. Alright, so what I have is, I have the turbo tacky glue stuff, which I haven't used it in a couple of days, and I lost the lid to it, so I have to dig it out so that I can use it here real quick, just to make sure that, hey, look at there, it looks like a little cap. So I'll just set that over to the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, and there's no need to shake this stuff up. It dries 50% faster, it's non-toxic, it's all-purpose, and it's premium. Okay, so this right here, and like I said, hey, don't knock it until you buy it. Alright, so if you want to pay more, you can pay more, you can pay less. If you can get it online, hey, if you can get it cheaper. What I did is I got mine at Walmart. Like I said, most craft stuff's cheaper at Walmart. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spit out just a little bit. I'm pretty sure you can see, probably not. But there's just very little in there. Yeah, you can see that. Okay, so there's very, very, very little in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let that sit and soak for a few minutes and see if I can't get it, to level itself out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to, not yet, I need to get my tape. Alright, so to make sure, I'm going to take a piece of tape. And what I'm going to do with the tape is I'm going to tape the ends so that whenever I cut it, so I know that whenever I cut it, it's not going to go, it's not going to be a frayed knot. Yeah. So pretty much that's what I'm doing. I'm just wrapping tape around the end of it just to make sure that it stays where it's supposed to stay at. And I'm going to cut that. But first, I want to measure it because I want this to be somewhat on the inside so that you don't see the loose ends here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold it up here and I'm going to measure it. So pretty much about right there. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this off just about there. Okay, see? And that helps. So now we have that. That's nicely glued, or taped, and what we're going to do is we're going to use the end of that, and we're going to spin that in there. And we want that glue on there because we want it to stick. Okay, so now that I have this, I want to measure it down. And I probably should have done that first, but you know, sometimes we get ahead of ourselves and we go, oh no, I should have did this, or I should have done that first. So what I want to do is I want to measure it, and pretty much how I'm going to measure it, and I know more or less how long I want them, but because I like a good keychain, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure it down to about right here. Okay, so when I cut it right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this and I'm going to pretty much wipe. Okay, and that's not going to do anything to it. It's just going to keep it from coming apart per se. But I want some of the end of it to look tassel-y like this, but I don't want it to completely come apart. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that yet, but we'll see. You know, we all have decisions to make. So, you know, we put things together and then we take them apart and we put it back together and take them back apart. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to just take and snip, snip. Now, this part here, to keep this one from fraying all over the place, what we're going to do is set that in there, because this is going to be a two-part tassel. Is I'm going to take just a very small piece. Okay, just a very, very, very small piece here. Guess not. I'm going to have to go bigger. Go bigger, go home, right? So now, and like I said, I only needed a little piece, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to lay this in here. I'm going to roll it onto itself, and then I'm going to cut the end off. That's all. I'm going to cut off the excess here in a minute. Okay, so now that that's all done, okay, I'm just going to take this and cut off the end, just like that. Now, we're going to take this one, pull it back out, because we know how long we want them. And we are going to cut it. And don't worry about it if you don't get them exactly, because once you get them in there, you know, sometimes they fit, sometimes they don't, sometimes they slide, sometimes they won't. So what you're going to do is you're pretty much going to take, crush this here together. Like I said, you can get it all over your fingers. So we're going to take this, we're going to slide one in, and we're going to take the other one, and we're going to slide it in. That's why we wanted the glue all over everything. Okay, so there. Now we have that. Okay, and this will take some time to dry, because it's only turbo tacky. It's not turbo dry. So that's going to take a few to, you know, get done, or to dry. Okay, so once that dries, we'll come back and finish up. Alright, so we'll let that dry. And we are back. Here is the tassel that we started making. We cut it into lengths and glued it. Remember, we used the turbo tacky, so that needs hours to dry. So now it's been several hours and it's had a chance to dry. I'm not going to pull on it because we don't want to pull it out, but if you can see, that is kind of snug in there. So if you remember, I only had one, but I went ahead and added a third one, you know, just to fill out the little cap. And what I have done, and I love the way these little curly things look here. So we're going to move this off to the side and we'll talk about that in a minute, because I did say we were making keychains. So what I've done to do this here is just flicker it a little bit, and like I said, I'm taking a crochet tool and I'm just kind of, you know, stabbing it down and, you know, pulling upwards, downwards to the tassel, but, you know, upwards to make it come apart. So that's pretty much all I'm doing, is just taking and pulling it apart, you know, to give it this cute little frayed braid look. It looks really, really nice. I like the way that it looks. So that's pretty much all I'm doing, is I'm pulling it, just taking it in, pulling it out, and then I'm just kind of separating, separate the colors so that each one they stand together but stand alone, just kind of like we do. We all stand together but we stand alone, if you know what I mean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm just going to keep pulling it until I get it to the same here, and then that's why I said whenever you cut it, it didn't matter, you know, if it was the same length or not, because once you start pulling this apart, you're going to notice that all your strings have a different length. So they're all going to be different lengths, because each strand, you know, you have like 2 reds, so your reds are going to be shorter than your white ones, or shorter than your blue ones, you know, might be longer, who knows. But that's why we keep a pair of scissors, and I'm just going to keep going and doing this. I'm going to try to get this done very quickly here. So let's measure, make sure. Okay, so we still got a little bit more, so let's say about there. So I'm going to do this a little bit more. And like I said, I'm just kind of just wiggling it in there, loosen it up. Let's see, it loosens up really quick. That's why I was talking about having the tape on the ends, because like I said, you see how fast this is coming apart with just wiggling it. So, you know, you want to have something to make sure that it doesn't come completely apart. So what I have done, and I've already done it for this one and this one, and I'll show you while I'm doing this one. Okay, so let's make sure that all of our actual braids are the same length. Okay, so now that I have loosened it up down here on the bottom, these are pretty much the same length. Now what I did to keep it from separating even more is I'm going to take and put a dab. I'm going to pull these back tight so that it stays tight. And I'm just going to take a dab of this tacky glue, and I'm going to put it down in here. Just a dab. Okay, just a dab. How well you can see that. Okay, so, and, you know, and do that. And then we're going to pull it back straight to make sure when you pull it together, you can see that it's kind of seeping out in there. Just kind of roll it around. That way every strand gets some. Okay. It's not going to look crappy because it's going to dry clear. Okay, so that's the way that it looks. And now that we're down here, I'm just going to take and, like I said, straighten out some of our strands. Not straighten them, but, you know, pull them apart. Make them look nice. If you want, you can take and just, you know, flip it around. Don't drop it, but flip it around. Fluff it up. Okay, so now that we have that, it looks cute. Okay, you can leave the ends at various lengths. If you want to give it character, you can leave it however you want to. Okay, I am going to actually leave mine, I don't know, I think I like mine better when they're all the same length. So I'm just going to pull mine down, make sure that everybody is there, and I'm going to give it a cute little haircut, give it bangs. My scissors don't want to cut that well this morning, so alright, so there, I've given it bangs, and just like that one curly piece of hair that's always being stubborn. And we're going to move that over there. Alright. So see, they're still not even, but you know, it's more or less. So there you have that part. Okay, like I said, I'm making keychains. So I have actually, let's see, where did it go? I actually made these. Okay, so what I did is I bought some little blocks and I painted them. You know, you paint them, and then to give them this glossy top over, you can spray them with acrylic paint. You can do whatever you want to seal it in, and I did. I sealed it. But this here on the front is, you know, a stencil. So I painted over a stencil and put it on here to give it this cute look. I don't know if you're looking at it like that or if you're looking at it like this. So I've actually put some eye screws in the top and in the bottom, and then I put this tassel on, which I made this tassel. And I like these tassels. You know, they're made out of the silk ribbon, so you can go on YouTube or wherever, you know, you search and, you know, look how to make tassels from silk ribbon. They make it look easy. I tried it. I did a couple. It is hard